Welcome to One Big Day 2015. I think the same quote can be applied as to what is the main purpose, not just today's conference, but any CoreNet real estate conference you attend, and that is to inform, to educate, and hopefully to entertain.
We're actually looking at the real issues, the issues about the organisation. Think about what are your takeaways? What are you going to think about during the day? And I think that really what we're focusing on is, on the one hand, the organisation, and on the other hand, your own personal development.
What I'm going to do here is share with you the experiences to think about the power of vision and values, and to think about, if we get these things right, how do we bring that to bear in terms of performance? So how do we have that culture where we've got the clear vision, we've got the challenge, but we've got the support that enables people to then deliver that kind of performance? What I want to talk slightly here about is celebrating success, and this is how you're meant to celebrate success. And that's not so much how you want to celebrate success.
The interesting difference about this conference or this event as compared to most real estate related events you're going to, you've titled it Performance and Productivity, and obviously it's a lot more about leadership and development than it is about real estate specific topics. And depending on who you are in the audience, if you're new in your career, you're probably more interested in the technical real estate related aspects. People who are a little bit more senior, as I look around the room, then they're more interested in leadership. And it really, in my view, you can buy real estate related expertise. You actually need to grow and develop leaders.
Are we clear, retail managers? You're going to increase sales and you're going to reduce wastage. So I'm going to set you this task. You are retail managers, and next week you are going to choose what we're going to have on special offer. So what will you sell? Lettuce or mushrooms when you are under the adage of increasing sales and reducing wastage?
There's a lot about your own personal development, developing resilience, wellness, and balance. What skills do you need to be a good change agent?
Over the next 35 minutes, I'm going to share with you some very simple strategies that you could use on a daily basis, if you wish, to help optimize your energy and therefore your effectiveness. When you have lots of energy, life's generally easy, so you tend to get a lot done, tend to do it well, tend to have appetite to do more. If we start to make urine that we imagine is what a wolf would use to mark its territory, then we've obviously become dehydrated. Now, the trick is not to get into this state in the first place, okay? But should we notice that we've made wolf wee, okay, at any point in the day, how might we respond to that? And the answer is, drink some water.
I think the focus on the non-core real estate elements is actually really helpful for us. So in particular, if I look at the advice and the insight we're getting from Dr. John Briffer, really feeds back into how we can be more productive in our organisations and with our teams. But also I think the insight from Greg Searle as well was outstanding, and his insight, his self-awareness, I think was absolutely outstanding.
And we have started to sort of do some pilot cases around productivity where we really engaged with a particular business line to actually figure out with the organisation what makes you more productive, what are the barriers to productivity.
Economic development, that's obvious. Environmental protection, that's also obvious. But social development is the one thing that you don't often associate with sustainability, and people's welfare, their ability to engage in what they do is an important element of sustainability.
We need to really get to understand how people operate, what they want, what they really think about this space and environment and the situations we're putting them in to work. Change management should be introduced at the very beginning of any sort of project.
Well, I think it's more probably of value to a lot of our clients and what we can actually deliver and offer to them. So, for example, what is available out there and what information is available. I think that's really important, that they know that it's not purely about real estate, about making a commercial decision. So I think that a lot of these sessions have been less about the real estate, but a lot more about how people interact within the space. And I think that's been really valuable as well.
The topic today is the fourth industrial revolution. We've had 3 so far, and now the rise of new technology is going to fundamentally change the way manufacturing exists and persists through the next decade. This will come as no surprise, but the world is changing fast.
And I think it's really useful to think about the internet not just as a piece of infrastructure, but actually as a broadcast mechanism that is finally changing the way that we communicate and how that's affecting things, how that's changing things, and what the impact is for your people's businesses and how that sort of approaches your clients and the people you're dealing with.
Well, really exciting day, very different from before. So we're not really talking about property, which is actually real essence of what we got from the feedback last year, which is people don't want to hear about rents and markets. People want to hear about the businesses they work for. They want to hear about people, they want to hear about change, they want to hear about innovation. In fact, the later conference later on in the year is about disruptive innovation. These are things that our members are telling us they want to hear about, and that's why One Big Day is set up as it is.
We're 95 hotels, in fact we're 96, we opened in Bahrain last week, and we operate in 38 different countries. So very global, very spread out. So how do we deliver world-class service? How do we thread the needle through all of those cultures, all of those languages? I will come on to the delivery of service, but before we get there, what's at the core of our organization is the right people. And of course, once you have them, what do you do with them to make sure that they're motivated in delivering that best-in-class service?
People come here, it's not because you don't know these things, but it helps you to refresh things, and it helps you to remind you of things that you know but you should be doing. And I think that's the real value. It's having the day out to actually reflect on some of the things that we know, that we take for granted. But the last thing is really about networking. It's about seeing some of your colleagues and sharing some ideas.
It's a quest for world-class performance, operating in these environments that are very, very, very changeable. And as I said, I'm just going to talk about a few top tips that I've picked up along the way working with the various groups. When I went into the cave, I was lying there, and surrounding me were little dots. And I had an endoscope, which is like a fibre optic camera, which I've been using as I climbed to poke into crevices to see what was in there. And I thought I'd have a look in these little dots, these little burrows, beetles, ants, ladybirds maybe. And I poked it into the little burrow, and every single one of them had a scorpion in. And I came out and said to Leo, mate, there's loads of scorpions in there. And he said, mate, it's a straight choice. You can either have the cave of scorpions or the hammock of death.
Comparing last year with this year, what we've discovered, of course, is that change is still at the top of the agenda in terms of how we implement things, and people being very key to that. It's getting the mindsets right. So it's great to hear some of the speakers today talking about how you get that mindset right to really engage people and take them with you on that change journey.
With the right people and the right attitude and the right training, you can achieve absolutely anything. Whenever there is change, there is always opportunity. And I think it's very important to remember that. Change is stressful. Whenever there's change, there's always opportunity there as well. Sometimes you just got to look hard to find it.